surpass gamers' wildest expectations.
This is weird. How is this for wild expectation? Showing people what it is you're announcing. Sony's CEO announcing something called a new PlayStation 4. But he never actually showed it. He never even hinted at what it would do, what it would look like, what it would be. Just that you'll have to pay for it and you'll have to wait for it, and that when it comes out, man, oh man, you'll be so grateful you waited for it. Compare that to this.
This is iPad mini. It's as thin as a pencil. Yeah, it's thin. It weighs just 0.68 pounds. That's over 50% lighter than the previous iPad.
So Apple shows it, explains it, then you can go ahead and buy it or not. Maybe Sony should take notes. Now, I should caution here, given Apple's stock, maybe not the greatest example these days, but you got my point. There's a sort of a method to this showcasing what's coming down the pike madness. Tech expert Lance Ulanoff and marketing guru Journeyman here to sort this out. Lance, did Sony botch it? And if it was designed to be secretive, it's a vague, there was maybe a method to it.
Obviously Apple could give a master class on these events, but, Sony really wanted to get ahead of the conversation, of the gaming conversation. We have E3 coming out in the summer. Microsoft's going to introduce the Xbox 720. It's going to be hot. It's going to be new. They already seemingly have the lead in the console space. PlayStation, Sony trying to make a move in advance. So whether or not, and by the way, they say the hardware's not done. They have told us that. It's not finished. They could not show it, but they didn't care. And they did, what they ran with was the sizzle, which is the games and the social connectivity of the whole PlayStation through the controller. There's actually a share button on the controller, which, by the way, first time in the industry.
But you can share now on Xbox games and the rest, but it's a little bit more involved.
Right, exactly. You're jumping through more hoops. Now it's
Gotcha.
part of the system. Now there's a button to do it, and of course you can share video. You can have somebody join you and take over and start playing your game. So they really went with sort of the sizzle part of that, and of course all the games, which look really hot.
Yeah, of course you never know because there's nothing to show them on in this new environment. But Yuri, I'm wondering that sometimes these pre-announces, like Apple, is just, if you're thinking about buying a Samsung product, don't even think about it because we got something hotter coming down the pike. But if it's going to be Christmas of this year, I think Christmas comes at the end of the year. So that's a long time to wait.
It's it's 10 months to wait. And there's no other way to look at this, in my opinion, than to look at it as a marketing failure. It's sort of like watching one of these Harlem Shake videos. And then there's just no shake at the end. I mean, you're waiting and waiting. And they had millions of people on the edge of their seats for 2 hours waiting to see the hardware, and then you don't see the hardware. I mean, come on. Who launches a game console and doesn't show the game console? It seems ridiculous.
But, Sony has been doing a lot of things right lately, right? I mean, and I'm wondering whether they can afford a slip up here, if you deem it a slip up, because you wouldn't notice it in their share price, you wouldn't notice it in certainly the press they're getting, but maybe you're more tuned to this than I am. But do you see a danger here that they set themselves back a pace?
Yeah, I think
they do.
I was going to say, I don't think that Sony can afford a slip up because this is such a competitive space. A game console is not just about games. It's the center of your content universe. How many things do you do, for example, through your Xbox 360? You watch Netflix, you download movies.
But they make Blu-ray players and cameras.
They do, but they've got tremendous competition.
But this is the focus of it.
This is the focus. This is really critical.
So they botched it.
I couldn't agree more that they made a mistake in not even showing a rendering of what
in the old times.
Finish that?
Yeah. Yeah, in the old times, you used to hire an ad agency. The ad agency would decide the product was going to be read, and then you shoved it down people's throats. Today, what you do is you announce a product, you show it to people, you get them excited, then you listen to what they're saying about the product as you develop it and tweak it. Here, instead of having the opportunity to listen to social media to what people are saying about the product, they have millions of people complaining that they didn't get a chance to see it. And they're irate, they're upset. They don't get a chance to see the product.
Yuri, Lance, thank you very much. For those tuning in, I'm planning a show in December that is going to be so breathtaking, so revolutionary. I know O'Reilly's working on Killing Jesus. Hello. Pale by comparison. That's what I'm going to say. All right, in the meantime, all you need that this healthcare law magic is gone is this. They're cutting back Harry Potter's healthcare as we speak, and Shrek's, and Spider-Man's, and the Hulk's. And let's just say you do not want to get that Universal studio crowd angry. You will not like it when they get angry. Too late, because guess what? They're angry.
The road is filled with surprises. Make sure you see them. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star.